There are many conferences, but there is one conference that is called the International Conference on Communications. And of course, if I'm walking around there, Lajos Hanzo is one of the persons
Very nice to meeting
to
you.
meet there.
So see you.
You've been looking into a lot of communication theory in the past, written books, but now unmistakably quantum is the topic.
Well, there's a lot of truth in that, I would say, but quantum is never pure quantum. So if I might abuse the terminology a little bit and just refer to the entanglement, or if you like, the double helix of classical and quantum communications, then I'm fully in. And I'm just coming from a very interesting meeting with the IEEE Young Professionals Committee, where probably about 80 or so young professionals were asking questions, and inquisitive questions is really about the entanglement of the digital twin arena with quantum technologies.
Wow. I thought AI was the buzzword. Now you tell me it's the digital twin, it is quantum. You just wrote a book on that topic. What are the challenges and how will quantum make, let's say, the next generation different? Some people call the seventh generation of networks the quantum generation of it.
Well, this is a very astute question. It's probably a billion-dollar question, actually. But what is absolutely clear is that all classical systems heavily rely on powerful error correction coding. And this is a subject which is pretty distinct in today's conferences. Disappeared, actually. Olden days, we used to have half a dozen to a dozen different channel coding sessions, but today, really the new generation is not treating this very important pivotal topic. And the quantum domain heavily relies on low power signals. So ultimately, quantum coding has to really revive this rather kind of abundant research topic. So I would encourage every new PhD student to look into this alluring, beautifully rich subject area.
Quite interestingly, I've been promoting that optical wireless communication would change the new generations of networks. But now, Lajos, you're telling us that even single photons, quantum photons, will make the difference already. You say coding is one of the novel things, but when I was overhearing just a discussion that you had, making it work, realizing it, is also quite a challenge there. So what do you expect from the photonic integration?
It's a bit like an onion, really, you know, trillions of layers on top of it in terms of both challenges as well as enabling techniques. And so to start with, it really boils down a little bit to the specific frequency we're talking about. Much of the technology is, of course, centered around 50 nanometer wavelength, although it's not the only one handled by the optical fiber. And then there's the optical wireless arena, of course, where we can use laser light and even just simple on-off keying, you know, flickering the light and thereby, you know, conveying high data rates. So in this area, a lot of open questions, but then there's some research on ultraviolet rather than using the 50 nanometer domain. The trouble is that the photon behavior, the photon energy as such, is becoming weaker and weaker as we move to lower frequency. So if we go back to Einstein, he was first puzzled by the duality of the particle versus wave behavior of electromagnetic waves. And so if we go down to lower and lower frequencies, there's this huge open question as to whether tetherless terahertz communications using optical or even RF style carriers is feasible, or it remains science fiction.
Lajos,
thank you so much, Jean-Paul. This has been a privilege to talk to you, and of course research continues, so my hope is that the new generation will build their careers in this alluring research area. Thank you.